All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Yu Yu Hakusho, episode 77.
Wow.
Damn it, Tagashi, how... Wow.
So many plot twists.
You made me cry over a character named Seaman. Holy shit. And Chapter Black, and Sensui, and oh boy.
Yeah, so all this is something we just got dumped on us. Mm-hmm. Now we have to grapple with the idea that our enemy here is essentially the previous ally of Earth, the previous defender.
Yep.
And yet questioned whether humanity was even worth protecting.
Right.
Which, that's cool. That's a great little potential starting point to find a chink in his armor, you know?
And we definitely haven't seen Yusuke question that kind of stuff before. Mm-hmm. Nope. So, we have a villain that has some very strong parallels to our main character.
Yep.
Awesome. And now Yusuke has to stop him. Mm-hmm. And maybe save the people that are working with him. Mm-hmm. Because, the doctor was crazy, but Seaman, he could be reached. Mm-hmm. I mean, Gourmet ate the Toguro brothers, so, who knows? At least, Toguro brothers, probably someone that maybe doesn't need to be around. So, sure. Eating him, sure. But what about everybody else? Like, theoretically, these could all just be people that Yusuke needs to reach, you know?
Could be. Very much could be.
All right.
I'm going to say that the cannibal is probably the one that's the least likely of being reached.
It does feel like that, yeah.
Probably.
Whatever qualms Gourmet would have had before he started seasoning things, I feel like those would be pretty long and decisively gone. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They would have passed, as they were. But here we go. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Here we go. Oh, wait. Backstory? Like a full-on,
I mean, that would be awesome.
You help spirit detectives, right?
Yeah.
You must have been with this guy.
In those days, I was just a simple Grim Reaper.
Oh, give me a break. What good's an assistant if they can't dish out the gossip? You might as well have stayed on your oar.
Well, maybe I should. I like that job. It takes sacrifices being in human form all day.
Let's try to stick to the subject of Sensui.
Fine, in that case, I'm useless.
My God.
Meow.
Gwenma better come soon. If I keep sitting with these kids, I'll find a new use for my spirit wave.
Nice.
But your father has ordered you to remain here. You'll get 100 spankings.
If that's the worst I get from this, I'll be a happy camper.
You'll come back soon, sir, right? I think our dynamic was really improving.
Ogre, you're a fruitcake.
But George wants to go with you.
George stands out in the human world like a heifer in a beauty pageant.
How about now?
Now you look like you're gonna flash somebody.
Proceeds to throw off all his clothes.
Yep.
You take care of things here, and hopefully I'll have a home to come back to.
No, sir, please be careful.
George is managing Spirit World?
I only half meant it.
Likewise, sort
Oh.
of.
What are you talking about? We know Koenma doesn't have a pure heart.
In all my reign, nothing has seemed more natural than choosing Shinobu Sensui.
Whoa.
He was a child prodigy. Like you, Kuwabara, he could sense apparitions from a young age. And they were drawn to him like magnets. But Sensui had something more. He could destroy them.
Well, this is starting off properly scary.
Yep.
The music also definitely is doing its work here.
So even before he was the spirit detective, he was already doing spirit detective-like stuff.
You've come to me like countless before you with selfish and spiteful souls. And just like them, you've been judged.
Wow.
This universe was cut and dry, black and white. Demons were evil, so he had to destroy them. And that's when he saw what changed him. I had ordered him to seal up the tunnel between the human and the demon world.
What? You mean it's the exact same thing we're doing now?
Oh.
The circumstances were different.
Really, how?
Yeah.
That opening was only 10 meters wide. There was no threat of expansion, but it was stable, allowing lower-class demons to pass. But it wasn't free passage for the demons. It was a trap, organized by the young Black Club. They captured demons as they squeezed through and sold them at enormous profit.
Oh. Now the humans are the bad ones, or the demons are the victims.
Just worked his way into the group by his talent at capturing demons. Sakyo.
Wow.
Sakyo?
Okay.
He was already starting stuff when I was getting kicked out of kindergarten?
Okay.
Shit. So, is this person with Sensui Itsuki?
Was skilled and the
Yeah,
demons
okay,
weak.
it is.
They caught the club by surprise
Okay.
and cornered them. It was perhaps too much by surprise, as Sensui saw something he never should have seen. A ritualistic party they called the Feast of Human Vices.
What?
These privileged humans were toying with the demons they'd ensnared, torturing them with no motivation other than their own twisted pleasure.
Oh.
Shit.
Sensui had sworn his life to protecting his race from demons. But here, humans were enacting cruelties 1,000 times
Oh
worse than
my
anything
God.
he'd seen from a demon. His mind wasn't big enough to hold the change. Sensui lived his life on the straight and narrow, but what he saw that night went against everything he knew the world to be.
Okay.
There, in that room, Sensui fell into a rage and murdered every human at that feast.
Yeah. Yep, that
Understandable.
That makes sense. Nice. Perfect, simple imagery. Just surrounded in darkness, but covered in blood.
We're late, Itsuki. There weren't any humans when I came through the door.
Wow.
Not a single soul.
Just a bunch of demons.
And now he wants the life of every human
Yeah, he's broken.
as atonement
Yep.
for their collective sins.
See, that's why I always half-ass Grandma. Never take yourself too seriously, and you won't turn into a friggin' fanatic.
Precisely
Oh
why I
my
chose you
God.
after Sensui failed.
Oh!
I wanted someone who wouldn't think too much.
Yes.
Wow.
Of course. Don't be too
Hey!
quick than me, pal. Sorry.
That's great.
The dig. Oh my god.
You're not alone.
Whoa.
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
It's him.
And
Careful.
Sniper. Yeah.
I don't think they'll attack though, because all of them are there and it's just these two.
But maybe these are just the only ones they can see right now.
Sure, that's true.
Like, Gourmet could literally be walking up the stairs right now.
Yeah, this could all be a bait.
Well, shit.
Is he just gonna snipe them through the windows? Oh. Oh no.
Oh, no!
Oh no.
They're after Mitari.
Hey, what's up?
Get down.
Get down!
Okay. Well, get under cover, everybody.
Yeah.
You mind telling me what that was, Kazuma?
The bad guys found us. They're here.
Yeah, hide,
The
hide.
ground photon. They're attacking through the window. Don't let them see you.
What's this?
What? I don't believe it. It looks like they bugged you. How could you
Shit.
do that to your team?
I was counting on your weakness, Seaman, as well as your betrayal. I've heard every
Oh.
word you've spoken, and now that you've served your purpose, you can die with the humans you couldn't detach yourself from.
Damn.
What I wouldn't give to know what stupid bedazzled forehead was saying.
He's saying they let Seaman go so they could follow him to us.
No kidding? You can hear him?
Yeah,
Read
yeah.
Not
lips.
exactly.
We are lip reading. You should try it sometime.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I love all the digs on Yusuke. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
We two detectives are destined to clash.
He said the one they needed is among us.
What?
Among Us?
Maggots, ready to kill your own man because he lost his convenience.
I love this so much.
This is so good.
Hey,
Whoa.
stay put.
Good thing he moved.
No, that's what they want you to
Why are they in front of the glass still?
Yeah,
Go
that-
to the wall there.
Yeah.
It's just bad drawing, I would say.
Haven't you learned?
Go out into the hallway and stay there.
Like an
Yeah.
ugly singer with a good voice. Best for backup.
Things are different now, you're meshy. I'm different. I got a new power. It's how I beat Matari.
What kind of power?
I'm loving this agency from Kuwabara.
Really different.
It cuts through physically created space-time, i.e. territory.
Wow.
And that includes the most ambitious territory of all, the Kakai barrier net that divides the worlds.
Yeah.
Right.
Shit. So how would they convince Kuwabara or control Kuwabara or
I think
trick
they'd have
Kuwabara?
to trick him.
Yeah.
Keep Kuwabara alive at all cost. Use your own judgment in killing the others.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh shit.
Let's do this.
That was fast.
Hey, Genkai, Kurama.
Let's do this.
Don't get closer.
Easy, guy. What are you talking about?
The secret of the world is...
Love and peace?
No, you jerk.
It's a greeting.
V for victory sign before we start.
Simple-minded boys. It means 2 days till the tunnel opens.
Oh.
What?
They're like, what is this symbol? No, it's just 2.
Oh,
Yeah, okay,
hey,
all right,
Nice,
awesome.
Nice. Squad up.
Yo, Sensui.
Yo.
Been a long time.
Why would they fight on the street? There could be innocents out there.
And Sniper had a much better vantage point on the building.
Oh no! From
Yeah.
the drugstore. Oh my god.
Botan!
What is this, Yusuke?
Get back. Against the wall now.
I've sat.
Okay. Well, Keiko's familiar enough to know to do it.
I started him off too. He can store up his spirit energy and fire it, just like you.
Whoa.
All right.
So him
Yep.
and your Meshi
Does he
have
have
the same
territory?
technique?
How strong's his power?
Can't say. We don't know what he's learned in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Any initial contact is going to be a gamble.
Oh, guess when you become a champ, you get to do all the cool stuff.
Yeah, he does have people behind him, so he does need to kind of bait out the territory.
Right, right.
But he knows what Sniper effectively can do.
Afternoon, Detective Sensui.
Oh, nice, and he's getting to a position where
Rumor
he
is
can...
you snapped. You could only deal with the baby stuff.
Far to the contrary, Urameshi.
Hmm.
I came to lead you along the path of truth.
I'll stop you, freak.
You will fail.
Okay, here we go. Here we
Yeah,
go.
now if he uses his spirit gun, it's not gonna catch any of them in the path.
Yep.
It's begun.
Safety! Bring him into safety. They'll take him.
You have to tell me what you're talking
Oh,
about.
he's talking to the bug, maybe.
Maybe? Well, because he's worried about any of them being taken and then being shown chapter black, right? Makes sense. But
Okay.
I'm really curious what his
Like I told
territory
you
is, though, if he
before,
has
there's
it.
something fake about his power. The only way to know his strength for sure is to meet him head on.
Ho ho, you're approaching me.
You got him!
Okay, okay. Okay.
Gonna counter?
And the fight's begun. Here we
Yep,
go.
yep.
Yusuke Urameshi and his predecessor, Shinobu Sensui, now make first blows, with Sensui appearing to take the upper hand. But, unbeknownst to Yusuke's group, Kuwabara is the one they're after. He is the final key to unleashing humanity's end.
And
All
that's
right.
what Seaman can bring to the table, even though he's not unconscious, not able to fight.
Is what?
Is that, like, they're after Kuwabara.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, I could totally see it being something where, like, he runs to the window and shouts it, and then Sniper just, takes him out.
For sure.
Oh, man. I did not think that they would be fighting this early.
Right,
And
yeah.
I just,
Tears roll down your veins.
And I love how everyone is, like, behaving in this, like, very tense pre-battle situation. Oh my
Sensui
god.
is Okay, cool. I think he's potentially going to be a rival for Toguro by the time this arc is over.
In my mind, he already is.
Yeah, like, he's definitely a rival. It's just whether or not he wins,
surpasses.
Because right now, the idea that we had a human that was the go-to guy, basically the hero. He was the paladin. He was the one that went and did everything for the defense of humanity, but he very much had a, like, well, it's either them or us kind of mentality. Right. That's a great slippery slope to start on, so that when you then have him have his moment of where he sees the utter moral depravity which humans treat even the beings that he's been seeing as evil or dangerous, then he goes, wait, fuck, what am I fighting for?
And
oh no.
And there are so many things that I love about that, because it makes sense. He's already using violence as the solution, so then it ends up being applied in this big general context. But the one bit of information I would have loved to have gotten is, what did he do with the demons that were there?
Well, I think they were essentially probably all
dead by that point.
Well, no, they were all in such suffering that he probably gave them all mercy deaths.
That's what I figured, right?
Yeah.
But because the what he saw there was that humanity had the capacity for evil on the same level as demons. Right? And so, he killed those people.
I'm telling you.
Personally, I don't got a problem with that. I'm like, good for you, dude.
If anything, I think if anything, the scary thing is that, yes, you still murdered a whole bunch of beings, but you were doing that before. But it's the problem of what happens when you basically say, oh, murder is okay as long as it's for these people.
Right. The
what quantifies or qualifies those people as being worthy of murder? It's like,
I could see a lot of different types of people doing the same thing that Sensui did in that situation. And then the question is what do you do after? How do you recover from that? How do you rationalize that? Like, how do you process what happened? And I think the avenue that he could have gone down is these demons also could maybe need to be protected potentially because from the evil of humanity, right?
Yeah.
There's, because it wasn't clear cut, right? It wasn't just that humans could also be evil. It was that demons could be in a situation where they needed to be saved.
They needed to be protected.
They needed to be protected, right? And then there you go, right?
And he becomes the protector of those that are being preyed upon.
Exactly, regardless of who they are.
Yeah.
But instead, for a myriad of reasons and the path that he had been taking up till then and all of these things, it ends up being something where instead it's just my hit list got bigger, right? Much bigger. Right? So, okay.
And I like the simplicity of it in that when we see him, he very much seems to be put together when he's like on his way up there with Itsuki. And I like that we're already establishing that Itsuki was a partner of his before he met any of the other psychics. Meaning like they're tight. They're like this.
They got long history.
They got history together.
Yeah.
But when this happened, Itsuki wasn't there.
Right.
There's a very key, interesting aspect of this in where we don't know what would have happened if Itsuki was there to either stop him, be there for him.
Yep.
We don't know. But what we do know is that when Itsuki did show up, he lied.
Right.
He said there were no humans left. Like there were no humans here when I showed up.
It makes sense that would be how he would
very
have to
poetic
rationalize
that he said it, basically.
Yes, and it's very poetic. But the problem with that is then he doesn't have anyone to share in this, right? To lean on, right? And because the thing is that I could see I mentioned that I could see a lot of different types of people doing what Sensui did.
Yeah.
I could see Yusuke specifically doing what Sensui did. And if Yusuke didn't have someone to talk about the fact that, holy shit, because of the things that I saw, I ended up killing a bunch of human beings.
Yeah.
That'll fuck you up. right?
that'll
Like,
do it.
and then it's just picking your poison of what kind of fucked up person you end up being after that, right?
Yep.
If you aren't able to deal with what happened,
Yeah,
right?
but I think they're also pointing at the idea that he didn't instantly become a fucked up person. In
No.
some ways, more so, he became a broken person.
Exactly.
He became someone that was acting on pure instinct, in that he was basically like, I'm going to judge evil.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I really like that what they're setting up here was that this was not a rational decision that he made. He did not come to any kind of like, so my ideology has changed.
Mm-hmm.
He just acted instinctively and was just like, okay, I'm just going to kill anything here that is committing evil.
Right, because
okay,
this
cool.
is clearly barbaric.
This is barbaric. I must stop this, so I'm going to kill people. That's my answer. That's what I've always done. Cool. Go, 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 go.
Right,
And then when it's over,
Yep.
then he then goes, there were no humans here.
Right. And also, something I want to bring up from the previous episode is that in the weeks leading up to his disappearance, he started asking the question of, do we deserve protecting, right? That means that it wasn't something where this happened and then he did this and then all of a sudden he disappeared.
Yep.
There was time afterwards where he's
Lots of time,
wrestling with this,
theoretically.
and he is internally conflicted.
Yep.
He is like, I feel like I should be protecting humans, but humans did that.
Yeah.
If I'm killing demons because of the things that demons do, and theoretically,
Aren't
maybe
I
not
protecting people like that? Yeah.
aren't I protecting people like that? And theoretically, this wasn't brought up, so it isn't necessarily something that's relevant, but there could also be the question of, were all demons bad?
Mm-hmm.
There were the demons
Am I
that were
also evil now because I've been killing
Right.
tons of demons.
And then it's less of a change in ideology, but a discovery that, holy shit, is this ideology that I've been holding to actually maybe potentially fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I guess that's maybe just who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and that, even though I believe Sensui's beliefs run a lot deeper and stronger than Seaman's, it's a
Sure.
similar vein,
Yes.
right? And so,
Yes. I think that it's more that there's logic pathways that lead people to that conclusion, but I want to bring up the idea that there's something like potentially even more just completely just wrong with Sensui here. He had to flip pretty hard to come back to there were no humans here. Like he went from rage-fueled just carnage, no thought process, no nothing.
Yep.
And then basically came to there were no humans here.
right.
And I want to posit that he actually genuinely believed that, because it's more narratively like punchy.
Yeah.
The idea that maybe the reason why he didn't leave immediately or what have you is because he doesn't even necessarily realize what he did. Like it's
Sure.
a thing of where it's like when you're in that like
animalistic,
like I'm just gonna kill everyone kind of thing. Maybe he's like, oh, these were all demons. Clearly, they had to be.
Right. That's the only way he can rationalize it.
Right.
And something that I want to bring up is that actually, while I would say that is that's him
a
being
form
in
of
denial. So that won't work forever. It is something that I could believe could work in the immediate to make it so that you don't go absolutely fucking insane if you
Yes.
end up experiencing something like
Right.
that, right?
A defense mechanism.
That's in the different direction. That's in the humanity is still good and needs to be protected. These things were so evil, they must not have been a part of humanity.
Right.
So since then, there must have been some point where then going through almost, it seems like maybe the stages of grief, he's in denial because his ideology might be dead, right? Like the thing that he believed in is not applicable or something.
Okay.
Can I just finish this bit? So he starts in with denial of, they must not have been humans, right? Because I still believe humans as being worthwhile, but because he knows that that's maybe some part of him knows that no, that's not actually true, when he ends up confronting that probably again by himself of, no, those were humans, and that's why he was asking, is humanity worth protecting? Then he started on one extreme of those just weren't humans, and then he then goes to the farther extreme on the other end of all humans must die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But this is the thing that I feel like is a problem, and is where I think he's actually like really, really fucked up, and he even needs to be saved theoretically, and not necessarily killed, is that when the psychic read his mind, said it was filled with rage and murderous like hate and stuff, and the idea that he can like function in any kind of serious way while thinking about that just doesn't track with me. He's completely different in that respect than where he was at back then, where rage was something that just took over him. It just completely, he just went and murdered everything, and then he had to essentially like turn that off, and be like,
whatever off switch, however big the off switch was, pull it, flip it, whatever,
stop it, so that when Itsuki comes in, he doesn't kill Itsuki, because at that moment he doesn't have an ideological switch. He had a just panic. I can't understand this, so he breaks basically, and this happens. But Itsuki, a human being, not necessarily,
but I believe so, because if he's a psychic, then
but I mean, let's go back when they mentioned Itsuki and like being his partner and stuff. What did he say about him?
I don't think
what did Koenma say about him? No, because he did say something when they were running up to the place here. It's right here. Yeah. Okay. So just that they were skilled and they caught the whole thing by surprise. They didn't say anything about the nature of Itsuki. I just want to throw out the thing here that Itsuki is a human.
I believe so, yeah.
At that moment, Itsuki was not under any threat of basically the, I'm going to kill all humans kind of ideology that he has now, basically.
Itsuki was not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea that Sensui came to that conclusion over a course of time.
And then Itsuki was probably the first person that he went to, is he's like, you saw even if you weren't there when it was happening, you saw the aftermath of that.
Right, yeah, exactly. But now the main thing that we know about the inner workings of Sensui is that his mind is full of fuck, like and yet full of rage and hatred and all that.
And he still somehow functions at a competent level,
extreme competent level,
and not just competent because you could have like a competent rage monster theoretically, but
totally.
Cool, level-headed, and patient.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something that either means that he has so adjusted to that state that it is like a lullaby to him, basically.
Right, sure.
Or potentially that there is a part of him that is still in conflict with himself, where he hasn't been able to fully deal with it.
That's what I think.
He's been struggling against it this entire time, and this is the only solution that he can come to. Right, exactly. And so he is still holding to those dying vestiges and embers of his ideology, right? Even now, and just realizing.
But they're on the outside, right? They're the things that are able to keep him moving and going, because his ideology would turn that rage inward as well. Like he would want to tear himself apart eventually.
Sure. So he has the muscle memory of being the person that goes and brings justice, rights the wrongs and all that. And then because there's all the shit that he's going through on the inside,
he has to keep it down.
He has to basically hold that at bay for a bit, at the very least, just holding it at bay from himself I disassociate myself from humanity, because if I've gotten to the point where humanity is capable of these things, that means I am also capable of these things.
Yeah.
And I will at the very least stay on my own judgment until I have dished out the judgment on humanity.
Right.
And that is the final good act that I can do
Exactly.
before I maybe fall on my own sword, because I also don't deserve to exist in this world.
And that's where he's probably going to be a fascinating villain, is that ideologically he believes in this 100%. It would be extremely difficult to convince him otherwise. But the way that they maybe could is by having him let that whatever bubble up to the surface, bring it out, and have it be confronted.
Right, because
have it actually be exposed to the light. You know?
Because his well, maybe his ideology needs to be changed, but the things that he values, right, of like not torturing people,
right,
that generally, I would say
that's pretty straightforward.
That's pretty straightforward, and it's hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
It's about the application of that and how you take those mores and basically reconcile them with the world that you live in, right? And so that in and of itself doesn't have to be broken or changed in my mind in order for him to be defeated.
No.
You go outside of that and you say, yes, take that and maybe apply it a bit differently. Maybe see this new perspective. And that's where I think Yusuke and Kuwabara are the perfect, like, Yusuke is the actual main character, and then Kuwabara as this new potential focus, more like plot relevant character and the mechanics of things, you know?
Okay.
Could have a huge impact on him as a person, which could then, you know, end up being the resolution of this arc.
Yeah. I feel like what I'm more trying to get at is that, because I like where you're going through with this, but the idea that if he's right now keeping his own monster at bay, basically, isn't he already proving against his ideology that
yes,
humanity must be destroyed because the monstrous side of them is something that he's perpetuating?
Well said.
But by basically acting out in this way, he's a walking contradiction in that regard, because he probably sees it as, no, I understand that contradiction exists, but it's there to service the end goal, which is greater. Well, it's a greater ideal than the idea of, oh, people could just keep their monsters at bay. You know, that's totally a thing. And he's like, no, I am like the strongest. I am the fucking best. I'm the only one capable really of doing that. And probably why he's going to prove to Yusuke that he's like, even you, I can make you the other, you know, the next one. I can corrupt you as well. I can make you murder. I can make you do these things.
I could see that. And
it's just...
And that's probably why, oh shit.
Yeah.
This adds a whole other layer of complexity onto him being like, let's see if Yusuke does kill Doctor.
Yeah.
Because he would know that that's how it started for him too.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if he thinks that he is sort of the one exception or exempt or whatever from the rule of humanity being able to fight off the inner monster.
Maybe in like a temporary thing at best.
And like a temporary thing. I could see that. There's a lot of hubris to that. I think that could totally fit for his character. But I could also see there being something else where, and maybe something that would make it so that he isn't able to be saved, is that, no, it doesn't matter whether people fight it off.
Oh, sure.
No. Law of large numbers. There will be people that don't.
Yeah.
And that is something
that don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is not something that I can abide.
And he might go for the, you know, not all human lives are equal. He's like, when it gets right down to it, the ones that actually have the most propensity to utilize their monster are the ones that have the most power, because power corrupts, you know.
Sure.
So like, he's like, case in point, me, I'm really strong. And then Yusuke, he's like, you think you're better than me? He's like, just give it another 10 years.
Right.
Give it another 5 years.
Give
or
it
so,
10
friend.
hours in a room with Chapter Black.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you're not special. Like, I'm not special either.
And so
that's just the way things are.
Right. And so the people that don't do those barbaric things are maybe people that just got lucky with their environment or whatever.
They didn't have enough opportunities.
Exactly.
To show
but
it.
given the opportunity, they will. And maybe that's
the Joker's ideology then.
Exactly.
There, yeah.
And so as a result of that, it doesn't matter if you guys choose now to do this.
Right. That's why I don't think Kuwabara can really do too much, because Kuwabara is the shining light beacon on the other side of things, where he's like, he's like, I'm glad there's humans like you, Kuwabara. Because you, at the very least, showcase something that's beautiful about humanity before it gets snuffed out.
You are the example of the people that make me wish there was another way.
Yep.
But there isn't.
But there isn't. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, Kuwabara, how many others like you do you think there are? 1,000?
Right. And even
7 billion
even if there were, you know, a few billion, right?
Yeah.
What about the others?
Yeah,
what do they do? Like, are you saying that the times that you save Seaman, that's enough to outweigh the torture and butchery?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
This is basically the whole like biblical Sodom and Gomorrah thing of like how many good people do there need to be before
before you spare, you know,
the
place. Yeah.
And it's just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I just really love the idea that this guy was a fucking paladin, good guy of justice and black and white ideology.
Dark paladins are really interesting.
And he fell hard. And it's like, well, of course he fell. He had a black and white ideology, and he was introduced to the gray. And it's like,
the most sturdy structures, I just want to point out, this is maybe a weird sideways thing, but as an analogy, the most sturdy structures and objects and stuff are not the things that are perfectly hard. They're actually the things that are just that little bit malleable so that they can undergo the strain and the stress without permanently being damaged, right?
Yeah.
Like we would call that as being something that's like brittle, right? Brittle usually means like something that's also kind of weak, but diamonds, for instance, right? You would not actually make something out of diamonds because if a diamond gets damaged, it's damaged. It doesn't
it can't be repaired.
It can't be repaired, right? If you have something, but you know, then you have things where it's like people would build airplanes with like bamboo frames, you know, because it's like, hey, it's flexible. It can bend. It can go with, you know, with different twists and turns and things get thrown its way, and it still is okay, you know?
Yeah. But okay. As Sensui. So yeah, definitely a rival for Toguro as far as villains go with complexity and stuff. But now we get the world building side of things that we're getting, you know, the Black Club. We have Black Angel, Chapter Black Club. Okay.
Dark Tournament.
Yeah. So the
darkness.
Okay, but let's go through world building here. Sensui essentially encountered Sakyo's designs from an early age, or at least for Sakyo's early age.
Yeah.
This all still feels like the kind of stuff of where we're setting up some things of how, you know, demons might be a thing, but humans are, you know, just as capable as being evil as demons are. But I want to throw out my kooky theory again that humans are actually a form of demons, and it's just that's the only way in which humans are actually able to, you know, utilize, you know, spiritual, you know, like energy and stuff like that. It's just like, oh no, that's because they are also supernatural beings, and they just haven't been, in that unfortunate environment, of sorts for all this time.
They're at
wars of stuff of the past.
They're at the most comfortable layer of hell or the abyss or whatever.
Isn't the guardian of Earth's father a demon? Like
it will and
we go up the food chain here. Why is that the case?
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but because I'm not sure, but with like Christian biblical stuff and whatnot, isn't there like a theory that like the humans are like not quite fallen angels basically?
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah, but so yeah, I absolutely think that it could be something where humans are demons, and it's just, and we're just at that,
just offshoots.
Or just at that top layer, The demons get scarier the deeper down you go, and so
we're the least scary ones.
We're the least scary.
Least, yeah.
Sometimes,
yeah. But okay. But we now have a fight. We now have Sensui and Sniper showing up. They tried to kill Seaman. They had him bugged, but in some ways, they could have just killed him without revealing themselves. So I don't think that they're necessarily wanting to kill Seaman here.
I think they just want Kuwabara.
I think they want to lure them out for a fight, have Kuwabara get taken. I think, actually, if anything, Seaman is potentially an asset still. They did not kill Seaman. They did not.
It's true.
They did not render Seaman incapable of fighting forever.
Mm-hmm.
All Seaman would need to do is to snap back, and they could have him again.
Yep.
He could then be basically the enemy, where it's like, I'm sorry, he's like tears streaming down his face. I have to do this, and then it's like, fuck, no, god damn it, we have to stop him again.
And if they end up getting Kuwabara and say they want to use Chapter Black to get Kuwabara on their side, I would say it wouldn't be that would make it even easier to get Seaman on their side, right? Where if he sees Kuwabara, the person who saved him and did all this stuff, was the proof that humanity can decide to be better, right? Get corrupted, right? Then of course Seaman would rejoin them.
I think you and I are on the same page that we want our goodest boy to confront the darkest evil, but I really don't want Kuwabara to watch Chapter Black.
God,
really
no.
don't.
No, I don't want any of the cast to watch Chapter Black. Because I feel like with the way it's built up, so okay, if any of them watch Chapter Black and they don't get completely mind broken, then it detracts from the concept of what Chapter Black is. Yeah. And I like the idea that no, just about anybody, if they watched something like
enough of it,
they would be broken.
Yeah,
right?
I could see it being a thing where some of them watch maybe like 20 seconds of it,
right, and then
they quickly have to turn it off.
Right, exactly. I'm guessing with Seaman, it was something where he was already kind of thinking those things, so it confirmed a lot of his stuff.
Thing.
But yeah, exactly. Since we got him to watch the whole thing. Yeah. But I don't want any of them to watch Chapter Black. I want them to confront the darkness within Sensui and do that whole like, trying to talk with him and reason with him and all of that stuff. I also really like the idea of Kuwabara being captured and everyone needing to rescue him.
I do too. I feel like Kuwabara also being just allowed to speak in proximity to all these people that have had basically the darkness within them ripped up to the surface. I think he would have some really interesting things to talk about where his himbo brain would actually like leave some marks on them. And they'd be like,
yes, exactly.
Fucking this kid is
right.
It's annoying.
And as far as a way that they could get Kuwabara and potentially others, we talked about this a little bit, but there's only 2 of them here right now that we can see.
And every good strategist knows to keep some players in reserve. Yeah.
And especially, and this would also address the thing of, wait, why is Sniper being up close with Sensui?
He's maneuvering them. He's pushing them around. Yeah,
right.
He's an obvious target to make them think that.
Right, enough of a target and enough of a threat that they send all of their fighters to go deal with them because this is serious, right? Yeah. We don't, we need to respond with this with everything we have. And I love how they brought that up and they talked about it and they were all like, okay, here's what we need to do. Don't get too close.
We stay together.
Like all of these things of like, we need to make sure that we function effectively as a unit.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
But what better way to show how Sensui just outplays them if it's just, you did that.
Good job.
Good job.
Yeah, way to go.
And now the cannibal gourmet just goes up and is with all your friends up there.
Yeah, maybe he eats Seaman.
Yeah. Yep. Like that would be horrifying as fuck. No. Like, and then suddenly everyone up there that hasn't had to deal with like fighting as much and stuff, they see something horrifying like that right in front of them. How do they deal with that, right? Yeah. How do you deal with the fact that then there are the people down on the ground that are like, oh shit.
Do they get split up then?
Do they get split up? But how do they just emotionally deal with the fact that because of a decision we made, something like that happened?
Yeah, there's so many ways this can go.
Yep.
I love the way that Sensui feels competent, but also has this darker side to him, obviously, but this thing that we still don't know the full like ramifications of it. It's basically like you're addressing someone who is a shapeshifter, and they showcase their devilish form of charm, and he shows up and he's like, yes, I am suited, I'm here, I'm wishing to engage and talk with you, but the full monster is right there,
right?
But you you don't see it. You don't see it, but it's there. You know it's there. And that makes him feel more intimidating.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
I don't know what really that looks like other than the thing that happened in his past where he slaughtered all the humans.
The devil you know versus the devil you don't. Toguro was the devil we knew.
Exactly.
He made it very clear who he was,
right,
what he was capable of, what he would and wouldn't do. And we had to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that was terrifying.
And we know nothing about that with Sensui.
We know just enough.
Just enough. Yeah, we know that he has some of Yusuke's techniques.
Yeah. They
have similar builds.
It's like when you're a kid and you're lying awake in your bed at night in a dark room and you see some shape in the darkness, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, what does that look like?
Right.
If it was just darkness, it would probably be a lot less scary. But you see something that you feel like you might understand, right? There's something there, and then you can't get it out of your head, right? And then that just spawns all sorts of other ideas, right? And that's what Sensui is right now, and I am so here for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually kind of surprised now that, like, because Dark Tournament was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm surprised, though, that I haven't, like, heard any reputational stuff of just, like, oh, yeah, Dark Tournament's, like, you know, great tournament arc, right? You know, probably one of the best tournament arcs, right? But, you know, there's this other arc in Yu Yu Hakusho that's like, whew, you know.
I think it might just be that people gush about Yu Yu Hakusho in general, but you hear more about this, the tournament arc, specifically because it's a tournament arc.
Right. So
whereas
it's like
hard to explain necessarily what this arc is like in 3 words.
You could it could come up in other conversations where it's like, what are some of the great tournament arcs? Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho had a fantastic one, you know. Even if you don't necessarily think that's the best arc of Yu Yu Hakusho, right? You could think like the one that comes after is, you know, where it's
also
really
good.
You know, right, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I just
Yeah, it might also just be a thing where, you know, this is the best part of the arc, and it, you know, maybe slows down pacing wise or something.
Sure, I'm very surprised that Sensui showed up right now. I thought we were going to go through a lot more of like the semi-episodic, like dealing with the different, you know, people as they show up.
Actually fighting Yusuke so early, it seems.
Right.
But he did mention 2 days.
2 days.
Now that could have also been a mind game thing to get them to panic a little bit and move maybe too quickly into a trap later.
Yep.
So again, we'll see. They're also like, this is one of those moments where we're like, if only Hiei was here, things would be a lot safer.
Right. Because and there was also the fact that we get this kind of thought process for Sensui and that he acts this way now means that those other times when it felt like he was kind of sacrificing pieces very much had a point to them, and it's easy to track with. But 2, the comedy in this episode, holy shit, like for all the serious stuff, you know, it's easy to talk about that, but like
everyone's constantly roasting Yusuke.
Roasting Yusuke, and it's like, oh my god, that's incredible. Yes, Koenma did actually, like, that was one of the reasons why he wanted Yusuke to be the spirit detective.
You don't take yourself too seriously and think that much. Yes. Yeah. So of course we picked you.
Yes. Yes, that is true.
And Kurama's like,
Koenma.
wow, that's amazing. Yeah. I never would have.
Yeah, right.
Whoa. I love Kurama who's like he's
the
us.
5-head, like,
No, he's the reactor just being like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. And Yusuke's got the like, shut the fuck up, man. Yeah. Like, you don't have to agree with him that well.
Yeah.
And then Kurama's like, oh, well, I mean, sorry, man, you know.
And then even
buddies,
Botan being like, okay, so I can't do anything because I don't know anything, you know? So there you go. I was just
a lowly Grim Reaper. I swear to God, the more they say Grim Reaper, the more it pisses me off.
Yeah, because it's like, literally, the only thing Botan has that signifies her being a Grim Reaper. Or wait, sorry, no, she
Shinigami.
can. Well, right, but
we're
apparently,
in dub, so it's going to be Grim Reaper.
But apparently, she can heal. Right, because it's very easy to forget about that because it's like never really plot relevant. But her flying paddle,
or thing, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a cool way to get around. I feel like there would be some times where it would be helpful to have it, you know?
What I'm wondering, are we implying that Botan is actually young? Like
I don't know.
Like, because she's lowly, so it's like, oh, I hadn't been a Grim Reaper that long.
I was just an intern back then.
Yeah. I didn't know anything.
Right. It's that whole potentially immortal thing, you know? And then it's like, wait, okay, Koenma, he's a toddler, but he's actually like really old, and
Yeah.
so I suppose Botan looking like she's in junior high or whatever, even if she's really old. Okay, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
But just the balance of the comedy and the very serious stuff.
Yeah,
in
the
this
blue
episode.
ogre stuff was
Yeah.
leaving and stuff. God, is
Right.
it's
You
too
look
much.
like you're going to flash somebody. You know, watch over the place while I'm gone. You know. All right.
It's like 100 spanking from your father. He
Yep.
told you to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would very much like Koenma's father to come back into the story at some
Me too.
point.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of used more as a joke nowadays, and
Mm-hmm.
then more of like a world building thing of, oh, he's currently fighting. That's just a thing he's
Right.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Daddy
but
works a
also,
lot, yeah.
if there's a serious issue like an apocalypse threat, Daddy coming home could be a pretty cool plot point.
Of like, oh shit, yeah, this is real.
Son, did you fuck things up that bad? He's like, Dad, hey.
Yeah, spank me when this is done. We are in a crisis right now,
I
and
would really like it if you could just stand in front of this hole here. Kill any demons that try and come through.
maybe humans too. You know, like just
If a human gets in the mix, they shouldn't have been there, you know?
Right. Oh man.
Oh, I
just
yeah.
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 I love this show.
The show is great.
Yep.
The show is good time. But also, yeah, Kuwabara now having agency and a desire to immediately step into the way of things there multiple times, showcasing his heroic spirit. I want more Kuwabara focus as well. But yes, you are injured, buddy, and we cannot lose anybody.
Yeah.
We are literally like what, tied numbers wise with them, but the only reason why we might have a numbers advantage is because they have to keep
Their channeler
and gatekeeper, channeling at the thing
Right,
there.
right.
So it's like, okay, we know at least we won't be facing one of them at any given time.
But yeah, if
But yeah, this could go so bad so quickly. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
we stream every weekday, the info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all
Next time.